Good morning, pregame crew. It is Wednesday, January 28th, 6:23 a.m. Mountain Time, 8:23 a.m. Eastern Time. Welcome to the pregame show. I will officially get started in 7 minutes. Between now and then, I'm going to do an audio-visual check, say hello to my friends, get that brain and mouth matched up, and I'll take a few chart requests. Thank you for being here on this FOMC day. Interest rate decision will be announced at 2 p.m. Eastern. And at 2:30 p.m. Eastern, we will have the press conference. We had some Iran news, Trump headlines this morning that is spooking the market a little bit, just dialing it back a bit from all-time high. Market overall structure is good. Potential 4-hour bull flag. Sorry, just trying to bring the microphone a little bit closer to my mouth. Not that that's what y'all want, but if y'all want me to dial it back a little bit, I can. So ES 4-hour 12 EMA has been strong support. NQ is even stronger. ASML had earnings overnight. NVIDIA had China more purchasing details and solidification of those orders that we've been getting bits and pieces of, but more solid details were released. NQ, potential 4-hour bull flag. Semis are leading. Good morning, Shake and Bake, the man. Yeah, hit that like button if there's anything to like, which I hope there is. I can sure look at Mara Hunter. Good morning. Hey, Al. CCJ looking great. Chris Ike, yep, definitely United Healthcare bounces are for shorting until bulls prove otherwise. Hey, taxi driver, serious boom. I better seriously get started. Y'all got a lot of chart requests this morning. Okay, Mara looked good this morning. Bitcoin is bouncing. We're right at yesterday's high, 1060. We are in a daily, I don't want to say a daily downtrend. Weekly, this could be an inverse head and shoulders on Mara. It's not ideal. The right side's not high enough. I'm going to erase that real quick before I get busted and somebody tells Dan I drew a inverse head and shoulders there. So Mara has plenty of room for a 4-hour higher low. 1051 is intraday support, pre-market support. Again, this is why I get started early. Mouth and brain need to get going and matched up. So Mara, I would be watching Bitcoin on one screen and Mara on the other. Plenty of room for a 4-hour higher low. CCJ looks good. This Iran news of potential conflict helps uranium names. Daily inside bar. Breaking bull, we have a gap up. 127.14 is yesterday's high. That's the key level to hold on a pullback. Potential hourly bull flag. CCJ looks great. There's nothing bearish about new all-time highs. UNH is a dog. It is short sell restricted. Huge rejection at the weekly 50 EMA. Short sell restricted if something goes down more than 10% from the prior day closing price at any point during the day. It is then short sell restricted and that carries over to the next day. And short sell restricted just means that bears have to wait for an uptick to short it, which is supposed to taper or temper the selling, I should say. We got a monthly downtrend confirmed. Bounces are for shorting on UNH. The only thing that would be in the back of an investor's mind is, well, Buffett bought it. So where did Buffett buy it? Right here. So we have this gap down here, 270. That's where the news of Buffett buying, who knows where Buffett was buying, I don't know. But we have this gap down here of 270. That would be the target for bouncing, for any bounces to short into 270. We'll officially get started in 2 minutes. AUST, Austin Gold, I don't know what this pop was about. We're maintaining the 4-hour 12 EMA, 229, 235 are resistances. We're not gapping up. Gold got a new all-time high overnight. AUST is not gapping up. Support 216. Microsoft earnings after hours. Earnings after hours today. I don't like the location of Microsoft at this daily 50 MA and 200 MA right there. I don't like that location. We did get over daily resistance of 481, but we're looking for a weekly lower high at the weekly 12 EMA, 4 hours overbought. So if we did not have earnings after hours, I'd be looking for a Microsoft short. 4-hour bull flag. FOMC today just kind of leaves things a little bit difficult at this current location with Microsoft, but I would be looking more short. And then when I look at something technically and I say, okay, technically, I would say Microsoft's a short, but I don't know the earnings. It is a coin flip. I will be going over gold and Bitcoin. Hey, Kazi Krutz. I think I killed that. Sorry, Johan. Good morning. Green Lady, Walter, y'all ready to get started? Let's get this show on the road. Good morning. This is who I am. I'm Chart Gal Lori. I'm part of the Chart Guys community, and we teach technical analysis. If you want to give me a follow on X at Chart Gal Lori, I would appreciate it. So today is FOMC day. What I do here every Wednesday, regardless if it's FOMC or not, which I go over this market environment dossier table. This is a table I created to look at the various components I analyze every morning as a way to try to quantify what I'm looking at and be able to more objectively relay to you and translate to you what I see, so it's less subjective. So the market is definitely still looking more bullish than bearish despite this small pullback we have going on right now. Definitely more bullish than bearish. Looking at the CME Fed Watch tool, 97% chance of no change today on the rate cut. The market has priced in no change. So at 2 p.m. Eastern on the Fed interest rate decision, the market is anticipating no change. If it's something different than that, that could spook the market in a good way or a bad way. It just depends. So FOMC announcement today at 2 p.m. Then we have the press conference at 2:30 p.m. We tend to have extreme movements right after that interest rate decision. So stair steps are your best friends. If you don't know what a stair step is, we have a video that Dan created on how to use stair steps. Looking at the pre-market heat map, which is my new best friend, it kind of tells you how things are looking. Let me make sure this is updated. In pre-market, semis are strong. If semis are leading the market, I don't want to short the market. Semis are the fuel to the market's engine, and right now we are getting some serious gas from SMH. All right, let's go look at the charts, my favorite. I was watching a video, a YouTube this weekend from Dr. Brett Steenberger, I may be mispronouncing that, and he said the common denominator, let me just type this out. I wanted to share this. The common denominator, okay, can't spell this morning, for successful traders is intellectual curiosity. That is the common denominator for successful traders, intellectual curiosity. Just this extreme desire to learn new things, figure out new things. And I would say my mom's always called me a sponge. I love data. And of course, there can be overload, and sometimes we need to simplify things. But if you're not an intellectually curious person, this may not be the profession for you. And if this isn't a profession and this is a side hustle, you swing or you day trade on the side, I still think this is super important to have that intellectual curiosity. Okay, that was just a fun fact. Brett. Lance mentioned Brett Steenberger, and so did Shark. And so this is the book. The Daily Trading Coach. This is the man, Brett Steenberger. So I just bought the book and I watched some of his YouTube videos this weekend. All right. ES, we just got an hourly downtrend. That's great. That's wonderful for bears. But have they really accomplished anything? No. We are testing yesterday's high. Yesterday's high is 7:018.50. And we have not breached that level yet on this pullback. So bulls are holding yesterday's high as support. We have plenty of room for a 4-hour higher low. Good morning, Ashley, Walter, Chaotic Coder, win for you. Good morning, good morning. So 4-hour 12 EMA is our guide on ES. And look at NQ and this distance between price and the 4-hour 12 EMA. It just shows the bulls' prowess, and we did not break hourly support on NQ. Small issue with NQ is we are not over all-time high. So 26,399 is the all-time high for NQ, but let's look at QQQ. If I take off the adjustment for dividend, 637.01, that is our key resistance. We broke it this morning, but only by a few pennies, by 28 cents. So we did get a new all-time high in QQQ. It matters more during regular trading hours. Bottom line is bulls are in control as long as yesterday's high holds as support. So not only do we have FOMC today, we have big earnings. Meta, Microsoft, and Tesla earnings after hours. There's a lot of opportunities ahead for bears to rain on bulls' parade, but right now, bulls are the grand marshal. Didn't even plan that. RTY is not as strong as NQ and ES. We're getting over yesterday's high. Hourly has an uptrend. 4-hour 12 EMA is your guide. We have plenty of room for a 4-hour higher low. Here's one chart that gives me cause to pause for the Russell. ARK. I almost made this a Queen of the Mountain trade. Queen of the Mountain trades are tough on FOMC day and with big earnings. But ARK, this is a potential daily head and shoulders. This is ugly. So just something to keep in mind with the Russell. Okay, back to the record at hand. Okay, so Dow, we have a weekly inside bar. Daily is sideways. We're inside yesterday's range. Notice how the Dow is red. The Dow is red. This is primarily a tech-driven rally. Look at this 4-hour equilibrium with a potential 4-hour bear flag on Dow. Dow is not feeling the market love. Dow is taking the brunt of it in the chin. If you look at XLV, we're gapping down. XLF, we're gapping down. So here is a glimmer of hope for bulls that are bullish the Dow or banks. This is a potential 4-hour bull flag on XLF. We're looking for a weekly higher low, 4-hour, not oversold, but that sure is a pretty falling wedge on XLF. So you could look for a long in banks if we can get a shorter term trend change on XLF. Double daily inside bars on GS. It's been holding up better than most. I'm trying to find a, not Bank of America. I was doing this earlier, just trying to find a potential long on in the banks. Well, that looks good. There's a daily EQ on C. That makes it nice and neat. XLF is in a 4-hour potential falling wedge. C may be a good long, looking for that falling wedge to potentially play out. Okay. I don't know if ARK sold Tesla or not. You have the audiobook. Me too, Chris. I have the audiobook, but just reading, glancing over it, thinking I probably need to buy the book because it has some exercises to do. Catalonia. Yes, I will look at Ethereum. All right, so we did that. SMH gapping up to new all-time highs. There's nothing bearish about new all-time highs. ASML had earnings overnight, gapping up to a new all-time high. NVIDIA had China news on their order, and we're gapping up over this daily resistance of 190.44. VIX, we have a daily equilibrium. Daily higher high, higher low, lower high, higher low. 1527 is the key support on VIX. It is my contention that these alerts, that VIX will have the market will have a hard time attacking new all-time highs for NASDAQ if VIX can't break 1530. We're green this morning with the market green, positioning ahead of FOMC interest rate decision and big earnings. All right, Hang Seng was big and green overnight. DAX is currently red. Bitcoin is green. So Bitcoin has a potential daily inverse head and shoulders forming. Bitcoin has had a majorly productive bounce. If you were part of our chat room yesterday, you may have seen this. I posted this 30-minute broadening formation, and I get a lot of questions like, how can you use broadening formations? So I had this cleaned up, but you get the drift. This is a great way, looking for the lower low without follow through, and then we zoomed higher. So I posted this live right here yesterday in the chat room, and now we're up $3,000 from that low. So Bitcoin has a 4-hour uptrend. I'm trying to go forward. Okay, 4-hour uptrend, getting over, testing the daily 12 EMA and the daily 50 EMA. Bitcoin is strong this morning. Ethereum got over the daily 12 EMA. We need a candle close above it. Plenty of room for a daily higher low. 4-hour uptrend is your guide. Dollar continued to puke overnight. It has now turned green. 15-minute uptrend. This could be a little rising wedge. For me, this is the variable, the big variable for today. Can the FOMC comments and interest rate decision boost the dollar? And then would that provide a temporary top in this metals bull run, the bull metal run? Oil is surging. This Iran headlines is a tailwind for oil. And if you don't hear me say anything else for the rest of the year, take note of this oil squeeze. Oil is squeezing on the weekly. We have major pressure building in oil, and it's looking it's ready for major volatility. Plenty of room for daily higher low, 4-hour higher low. We just got it. Oil looks great. Nat gas, we had a contract change. This is hard to look at. So we have a 4-hour downtrend now in nat gas. It's had a beautiful run. We are looking for a daily higher low. So don't pay attention to the NG continuous contract. This contract change really impacted the price. If you're looking at it empirically, it's changed, but overall nat gas is still in a daily uptrend. All right. Just making sure everything's still working. Gold, new all-time high last night. Potential 4-hour bull flag, maintaining the hourly 12 EMA. Commodities can remain trending a lot longer than you can remain solvent trying to pick the top. Be careful trying to pick the top. Silver, we had a 4-hour EQ bull break. Couldn't get through the all-time high. We're pulling back now. So we are looking for a 4-hour higher low on silver. GDX is gapping up. We are not over all-time high of 112.54 yet. I'm looking for major volatility in GDX today with FOMC. I like playing GDX in both directions using stair step. All right, Apple, I need to go a little faster. Apple is gapping down. This one is not like the other one. So Apple has earnings tomorrow after hours. We've got a daily double top. This actually could be a little inverse head and shoulders. Let's see, where's this gap located? We have this gap at 256.56. We have one down here at 249.41. Not all gaps have to be filled, but I would be watching this 256.56 for a potential target to the downside. Earnings tomorrow, losing the hourly 12 EMA. We're still holding the 4-hour 12 EMA. 4-hour higher low is more likely. Hey, Jonathan. Oh, we'd love to see you there, Jonathan. I hope you're well. I think you're in London and you have a farm, if it's the right Jonathan. I hope you're doing great. So Apple 4-hour higher low more likely. Amazon's gapping up. They have layoffs that they've announced. 248.94 is resistance. Daily lower high is still possible on Amazon. They have earnings next week. 4-hour approaching overbought. 4-hour approaching overbought with daily lower high more likely sets up Amazon for a potential short. This news is a tailwind, so you have to be patient on the short attempt. Nvidia pulling back. We're still gapping up. 190 is yesterday's high. Gap rules apply. As long as bulls hold 190 on a pullback, that is a long signal. Tesla is bouncing. Tesla has a potential inverse head and shoulders. We're looking for a daily higher low. We have earnings after hours today. Potential 4-hour bear flag. Bulls are not out of the woods this yet on Tesla. Tesla has been weak, trying to get over the hourly 12 EMA right here. Okay, let's see if Tesla can get a 15-minute higher low for a potential long, but earnings after hours. All right, BBAI. On the weekly, this is one beautiful chart. Weekly tightening range, weekly equilibrium, weekly squeeze, daily squeeze, bounce from the 200 MA. We're not out of the woods yet on the daily. 4-hour potential bull flag, looking for a 4-hour higher low. I would just want you to take note of this volume. Yesterday, look at the volume yesterday compared to these days. That was some pretty big volume. I like BBAI for a potential 4-hour higher low. I like its detachment from indices. It will likely be mildly impacted by FOMC decision or technology earnings, but I would say mildly. CIFR gapping up. Y'all seeing a trend? Look at this weekly tightening range. Daily, we got a good bounce with good volume yesterday, looking for a 4-hour higher low. I will not be buying this gap up, but I would like to buy a 4-hour higher low. GitLab, I like it for a get short. Weekly lower high more likely. We're at the daily 50 MA. 4-hour classic head and shoulders pattern. This looks pretty ominous. I like this one for a short. Our pre-market high is 37.53. Trey, I can go over UNG real quick. I'll go over UNG when I'm live in the room too, Trey. UNG is holding yesterday's low, 14.19. An hourly lower high is more likely. So nat gas is losing some of its pizzazz, if you will. Okay, let me go back. GitLab has that 4-hour head and shoulders. OKLO gapping up. I like this potential weekly inverse head and shoulders on OKLO, looking for a weekly higher low at the daily 200 MA. On a pullback, we're looking for a 4-hour higher low. I like it. I wouldn't be buying this gap up, but if bulls can hold yesterday's high as support, that could be a long signal for OKLO. USAR is juicy as you know what. USAR had that news of the government investment. We're holding the 4-hour 12 EMA. And hello, beauty. Look at that high compression squeeze, which means there's pressure building. If you're from the South and your grandma had one of those old-timey pressure cookers where the thing would fly off and could hit you in the eye, that's what type of pressure. We got some serious red beans and rice pressure cooking here on USAR. I like it long, 25.91 support, resistance 26.66. This one is poised well. I like it long because we're coming off that bullish news headlines. I was a little slow this morning. You're welcome, Al. Y'all have a great day. Hit the like button and use stop losses.